White Ribbon Day is important because it invites men to take a stand. And having been a victim of domestic violence, I think one of the biggest things that might have changed my situation is having a man stand up and defend me. I think we need to start with educating communities on the fact that they're not exempt from domestic violence and intimate violence. It is not a socio-economic problem anymore, it is across the board. It's been established that it exists within every single community, and until we understand that and accept that, we won't go to any measures to try and address the issue. So recognising the issue is there and identifying that it's prevalent in this shire. I hear so often that we're coming a long way, that we've come a long way. As a female individual in society, I often question that. I'm still treated very differently out in the surf down here. I still, and people say to me, how do you know if something's not okay? And I go, you go on how you feel. You go on how that person's behaviour has made you feel. And I often feel really intimidated in the water here in this particular culture. And it disappoints me. It disappoints me that I'm a part of that culture. So yeah, I'm not sure we've come a long way. I think one of the things I needed to understand as a woman is I'm also a mother, and I have a responsibility towards the next generation, and violence is learnt behaviour. The upside of that is it also can be unlearnt. So understanding that the behaviours are learnt, and we have a responsibility as parents in this community to understand the issues so we can better educate our children, our girls, on what's acceptable and our boys on what's acceptable, and behaving in a manner that doesn't accept poor behaviour constantly, no matter where it is. I as a woman have to take a stand constantly against poor behaviour, and I do that. And it's taken me a long time to do that without feeling like I'm one of those people, creating a scene, causing a drama. I'm literally just standing up for my own rights. So, educate yourself on, I think Gordon talked about it. It's a really complex issue. It has to do with power, and as women become stronger, it becomes threatening. So the power differentiation causes its own problems, but it's also learnt behaviour. So if you're someone who's in a violent relationship or acting in a way that's not acceptable, have a look around at the little faces that are watching you. This behaviour starts the moment children start misbehaving. Unacceptable behaviour starts when they start behaving unacceptably. And this might be overstepping the mark, and I was a little vigilant around violence given my history. But I remember my 4-year-old son belting a girl when he was 4, he belted a 5-year-old girl, and I put him in the car and took him to the police station. And they were fantastic and took him out the back and said, if you continue to do this, this is what's going to happen. Now he can retell that story better than I can because it scared the jeebus out of him. But he got it. He got that it was not acceptable. And it's, violence of any sort, even at a young age, needs to be stomped on. And if we don't start doing that, and we're not doing it in this society, the laws are still not strong enough to deter men from being physically violent against women. If you're walking down the street as a man and you belt a woman, you're going to pay a harsh penalty. If you do it behind closed doors in the home, you might get a smack on the wrist. So our messaging is, until we do that, behaviour changes perception. Until we change the behaviour, we're not going to change the perception. It doesn't work the other way around. So we need to be really pulling the boundaries in and making, action consequence. And that starts in the home, and it starts with our lawmakers. So I'll give a pretty firm stand on that. Domestic or intimate violence is not just about hitting someone. It's intimidation, it's economic restrictions, it's shaming people about the way they look. Intimate violence against women is now the largest contributing factor to death, illness and disability for women between 15 and 45. And by that I mean it creates mental health issues such as anxiety. It has so many threads to it. It's massive. And often the physical part is the last part.